It's nothing, don't pay attention to it, but that's why we're going to have to split because of the corruptness. Thank you.
My name is, sorry.
Here's my buddy, I see you. Go ahead, he was
welcome
next.
to talk to you. My name is Luke Radowski. I run my own independent media outlet. I've been here since day one. I was actually the only journalist pretty much inside when the raid happened, when all the cops were taking everything off. It would be an honor if I could do a live interview with you for our YouTube channel.
Yeah,
that'd be sweet, because I want to get into my first question was that I was giving up hope, because I always say the police officers and the people are the same thing. But I was giving up hope when I was batoned and beat by them and maced by them just for filming here. But I was going to say you gave me hope.
Good, I'm glad I could do that.
And if we could do the interview and just have a conversation, a dialogue, that'd be sweet.
Absolutely.
It'll be no longer than 5 minutes.
Take as much time as you want. I'm here for a while.
Feel free to answer any questions you want, but I know you were going to say something first.
Captain, what happened?
Oh, kidding me? You two guys together?
No.
What happened that day? I saw your picture in the paper, man. They arrested you.
Yeah. No, everything was cool. It just took 10 hours.
Why did they arrest you?
It was a legal arrest. I illegally sat down and refused to move in the street, civil disobedience, because I didn't go down there to get arrested that day, okay? But I was protesting and I saw all these other guys being taken out, being arrested for civil disobedience. And that inspired me. I said, you know what? I came down here to join the protesters. I got to join those guys that are getting arrested. And because they were getting arrested, they were losing their freedom to get the word out for justice. And I said, if they can lose their freedom for justice, I'll lose mine.
That picture was something, man.
Yeah.
It was a powerful picture, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Like, I didn't see one police captain in that picture. You were the only one. It was like you were in charge of all of them.
Well, it's funny. Here's a little funny story. There's always room for humor, okay?
I was so angry. It made me so angry.
When they took us in, we were in a big courtyard, and they had those, tie straps on us. And then from the courtyard, they took us into the processing center where a guy was writing down everybody's name and everything. And the guy who was writing down everybody's name looked at me and he said, "Captain, how many prisoners do you have?" And I said, I am a prisoner. He says, no. I mean, how many prisoners do you have? And then I went like this, and he just almost dropped over. He was really shocked.
One last question: did they give you a ticket, or did you see the judge?
No, I did not see it. They're going to send me a summons in the mail to appear in a couple months.
They give you a ticket.
I don't know how they're going to handle it, but
did you get arrested and did you see the judge?
No, I did not see a judge.
Okay, they gave you a ticket.
But no, they didn't give me a ticket, but I'm going to have a summons to appear in a couple months to see the judge. And then,
you didn't receive a ticket? You weren't taken into custody and seen the judge?
No, not that night.
It's awesome.
Yeah, but I will, and I don't mind. Hey, it's cheap. Or they want to send me to jail for a month. That's fine too.
Stand up there with your uniform.
Yeah, I know they wouldn't, but I'd be willing. They're not good. These guys aren't going to beat us.
No, man.
Okay.
I love you, man.
All right, thank you.
You're everything that we need,
You guys are everything we need. Me here alone is nothing.
You do inspire us,
Well, that's why I came down here. You guys inspired me when I seen you on the internet. But okay, now this guy's got to get his...
Yeah, I got to do the interview. That's all right. This is Luke Radowski out here with Captain Lewis.
The other way.
Now,
I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. It's okay. This is Luke Radowski with Captain Lewis. Now, Captain Lewis, I got to say, being out here from day one, being maced, being batoned, having a horse step on me by the police, I was giving up hope that the police are one of us, that they're our brothers and sisters. That's always been in my thoughts. But seeing you here gives me hope for that idea. What gives you hope to be out here with us here today?
You guys give me hope. The fact that so many of you were willing to live in the cold and live on this hard concrete and marble and not have the proper food or bath facilities and whatnot, and day after day after day. I said, this is remarkable. You inspired me to come down.
Mm-hmm. Now, what I've always been saying is that the police are not the enemy. The police could be our brothers, could be our sisters, could be our aunts, our cousins. We're all family, we're all one in this world. But how do you think we could reach out to more police officers? I mean, what changed you? What made you, as a former police officer, as a former police captain, understand the problem and be out here and support? And how can we, as an organization, as a movement, get more police officers on our side?
I understand the tremendous frustration everybody has, and that's got to be vented. And it's vented against those people who are trying to stop you from your demonstrations and protests. And you can't hold it in because you're so pent up with the anger at the system and nobody listening to you. And we voted for Obama. And he was a great, I mean, I actually cried when he was inaugurated because I never thought I'd see the day. And I thought, wow, what a new America. And he has been the biggest phony.
Yep.
And he's let everybody down. And I'm even disappointed in his wife. I thought she would have some influence if he started to go this way, but she hasn't. So that frustrates the hell out of me. And so anyway, I understand the reason for protesters to have to vent. But I really don't think it helps the cause, okay? If you're, I don't see it helping the cause to win over the police by shouting at them, calling their mother's names, because we can't make enemies of them. All right, they're the ones that we have to win over because they are us, and they got to realize they are us. When I started in the police force, 1981, we had lifetime health care. When I left, they were giving 3 years health care. I just heard recently, I believe they're now negotiating, the city wants to give them 1 year. Well, guess what's next? Okay? And it goes down and down and down. And the pensions, when I joined, I got a really good pension. Newcomers now, new recruits, they had that pension slashed in half. And this is all because the tax base of the cities is dwindling. And why is the tax base dwindling? Because jobs, the manufacturing jobs, all the jobs are being shipped overseas by the millionaires who want to become billionaires. So they become, the greed is so corrupt. I mean, if you're a millionaire, you have gold faucets, you have a gold-plated toilet seat. I mean, how much more do you need?
Yeah.
And then when you're in that position, you know what they're doing? They give money to politicians to veto any raise in the minimum pay.
Yep.
And it's just so obvious that these are soulless people.
Yeah.
And soulless people should not be in power and corrupting our government.
Back to your previous point, anger creates more anger, hatred only creates more anger, and it's a cycle that continues. And I've personally been speaking out against the cycle and continue. It's just been hard going through some of the abuses, seeing the atrocities, seeing the beatings. It's a it's one of the strongest things I have to overcome in my life, seeing that and still believing in it, but you make me believe that. And back on your previous point with the money and system, there's been a push here by some people to get money out of politics, which means establish college sports rules where politicians would not be able to take any money from corporations or big banks.
Yeah, well, what was the Supreme Court ruling?
Yeah, that corporations are
citizens versus U.S. That was outrageous. Listen, we even had the Supreme Court is even corrupt. Now that tells you how bad we are. When the Supreme Court is corrupt, something's got to change.
Exactly. What do you think of a basic idea saying that money, private money, corporations and big banks should not be able to give any money to our elected officials? Do you think that's a good idea?
Absolutely. The number one thing to win an election, the number one thing is how much money do you have, okay? And when you get a lot of money from somebody, you're indebted to them, okay? And if you don't follow what they want, if you don't vote the way they want you to vote, guess what? Next election, you're out of a job, okay? So they are just puppets for corporate America. Every politician is just a puppet for corporate America.
Bought and sold.
Everyone.
My last question is, you were recently arrested for standing with the protesters here. How was that experience being in jail? Was that?
Well, I'm going to tell you the first experience I had.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of proud moments in my life, and I had a lot of proud moments in my career. And this might sound very strange, but when they put those cuffs on me and was leading me across that intersection, I felt the proudest I ever felt in my life.
Wow.
To join you guys in solidarity.
Well, you touched my heart. You give me hope.
You guys touch me and you give me hope.
And once I think the police come around, there'll be real significant change because it is us versus that small, very exclusive elite. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart, Captain Lewis. You're awesome. God bless you, brother.
I thank you guys.
And I wish you the best.
Alrighty, and just try to realize that. I know you have a lot of anger, but when you shout these things at the police, and hey, civil disobedience is okay, but don't go kicking them and don't go spitting on them. Just, get up with them and go with them willingly.
Don't continue the cycle of hate and anger. End it.
You hit it right. You hit it right on the head.
Yep.
You're continuing the cycle. You're right.
Don't continue it.
All right. And thanks for what you're doing.
No problem.
I'll tell you right now, what everybody's doing here is the most important thing, because you guys are the real media. Thank goodness for the internet. All right. But then I don't doubt someday they're going to try to shut that down.
Oh, yeah.
Corporate America will shut down the internet when they see this getting stronger and stronger. I have not watched any television news stations. I have not watched any. I have not read the papers. I get all my news from the internet, the websites like yours, and there's a million of them, and reading books. I'm telling you, corporate America wants you sitting home, watching reality shows, watching Jersey Girls, watching Dr. Phil. All this is just to, well, first of all, number one, if you're watching these shows, you're seeing their advertisements. So they're selling you all this crap that you don't need, but they make you think you need it. Okay, the second thing with all these shows, it dulls your mind. You should be reading investigative reporting. And that is on the internet, and there's a million sites, and there's books about all the corruption. I lost my train of thought, but that's where you're going to get your news, on the internet, and forget all this other stuff. Oh yeah, oh absolutely. He did a great article on this, and one of his quotes was, what this is all about is people saying, fuck this shit. That was a quote from him. He said people are just tired of all of it. Fuck it all. We're tired of this. It's so totally corrupt. Oh, here's what I was trying to think of before. When I say, watch something else in these shows every night. There's a documentary, Inside Job. Inside Job is a documentary by Charles Ferguson. It is free, okay? You go on the internet, you Google in Inside Job, it's the first thing that pops up, you go to it, it's free to watch, it's about 2 hours, you'll get the picture, you'll see how corrupt this country is. This country is as corrupt as any other country in the world. They just hide it better, okay? And I advise everybody, if you do watch that, don't eat before you watch it, because you're going to chuck it up halfway through. That's how disgusting it is.
Thank you, Captain Lewis.
All right,
You're
thank
a hero,
you, guys.
and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All righty, guys.
Inspirational for us
Thank you,
all.
Scott. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Great interview, as always.